To Portland City Hall, where the process towards a brand new form of city government continues, well, or does not continue to move forward, as was the case today. Today, city commissioners voted down the creation of new job classifications for the new government, at least for now. The charter transition team wanted to create 5 new classifications and salary ranges for those. A city administrator who'd be paid starting at just over $268,000, an assistant city administrator who'd be paid starting $139,000, deputy city administrators who will be in charge of the city's new service areas, which are replacing city bureaus. The team was proposing paying them starting at $204,000. They were also proposing adding mayor's aide positions, $90,000 for a senior aide, $71,000 for the other position. They say the salaries for city administrator was drawn from comparable sized cities, including Vancouver, Tacoma, and Sacramento. The other positions were based on jobs that already exist in the city of Portland. The team wanted the council to approve the positions as an emergency ordinance so they would go into effect right away, and the team could stay on track for the transition plan. But that rush and the cost made city commissioners uncomfortable.
I'm certainly concerned about the budgetary impacts when I look at the total weight of these deputies and frankly the whole hog when we talk about city administrator, deputies, and assistants here.
I would suggest going forward, as we are in meetings about the budget, the challenges of our upcoming budget, as we're building the scaffolding, as you say, I think our process needs to be improved where we do crosswalk with the budget office. And I think the budget office in this presentation would have been really helpful today for me, getting this information with an emergency ordinance on it to just be more at ease with moving this along.
Well, the team told the commissioners that when it comes to creating new positions and compensation, it's typical for a budget officer to get involved after the fact.
It is not very typical for budget departments to be involved before those structures are created. The role that central budget has played is in partnership with Class Comp and in partnership with bureaus at the city, so that once the actual positions are created and when pay rates are determined, then central budget office can review that, and they do have input, they do have approval on whether or not it is reasonable and fiscally responsible to move forward with what's being proposed.
They also pointed out that in most cases, people are hired closer to the starting salary, not the higher end of the pay range. But the cost of the new form of government has been a concern. The new government is expected to cost about $24 million a year to run. That's up significantly from the $10 million a year it takes right now. In the end, commissioners voted against today's emergency ordinance. They decided to change it to a first reading, which means it's been introduced and commissioners can consider it later. We contacted the transition team. They say they're working on responding to the commissioners' concerns, and they'll bring it back for a second reading next week.